Okay, let's dive straight into this explainer. Look, today we're going to fundamentally transform your B2B SaaS SEO strategy. We're going to take it from being this mere vanity traffic generator, the one that looks great on a chart but does nothing for your bottom line, and turn it into a predictable, revenue-generating pipeline engine. If you've ever felt like you're just pouring endless resources, time, and budget into search engine optimization, but you're barely seeing a dent in your actual sales, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to completely unpack the architecture of an inbound software pipeline today. And trust me on this one, it is a completely different game than what most generalist marketing agencies are out there playing.
Because your time is incredibly valuable, here is our highly structured roadmap for today. We're covering 1. The SaaS traffic trap. 2. Traditional versus pipeline SEO. 3. Targeting high-intent buyers. 4. Optimizing for AI search. And 5. Connecting SEO to pipeline.
So we really must start with a painful reality. It's one that frustrates so many SaaS founders, marketing directors, and RevOps leaders. It's this phenomenon of scaling your organic search traffic to the moon, only to see your demo bookings, your free trials, and your actual closed-won sales completely flatline. I mean, think about that feeling. You're looking at your Google Analytics dashboard, and the line is going up and to the right. It looks fantastic. The marketing team is high-fiving, everyone is celebrating. But then, you log into your Stripe dashboard or you pull up your Salesforce CRM, and it's just crickets, a total flatline. Why does this happen? How is it literally possible to have so many eyeballs on your site, but absolutely zero hand raisers?
Let's move to Section 1, the SaaS traffic trap. We're going to uncover exactly why this frustrating disconnect happens right at the very beginning of a campaign.
This right here is the crux of the issue. The diagnostic failure stems directly from targeting high-volume, top-of-funnel informational terms instead of high-buying intent, pain point-driven queries. Essentially, building keyword universes before diagnosing the actual buyer leads to content that is built purely to rank, but absolutely not to convert. You see this all the time. Too many teams jump straight into tactical execution. They pull a massive list of keywords from an SEO tool, they sort by the highest search volume, and they just start writing. Bam, bam, bam. And when you do that, your content ends up orbiting these massive generic topics that your product doesn't even uniquely serve. You wind up ranking for these broad informational queries that attract, say, college students writing papers, researchers, or just casual web browsers. None of these people are authorized or even ready to buy your enterprise software. So you get that beautiful traffic curve, but you entirely miss the sign-up curve.
To fix this, we need to move to Section 2. Traditional versus pipeline SEO. This requires a complete paradigm shift in how we operate. Notice the direct, stark contrast here between these two mentalities. Traditional SEO chases sessions. It chases keyword positions and search volume. It's completely obsessed with optimizing for top-of-funnel ebook downloads or casual newsletter signups. But true B2B SaaS SEO, it prioritizes product signups, it prioritizes demo requests, and real commercial intent. It's anchored directly to your customer acquisition costs and your recurring revenue. Actually, let's be real. Page views don't pay payroll. B2B SaaS SEO succeeds only when your content strategy is scoped all the way down to a specific buyer, dealing with a specific operational constraint, and tying it to your specific product surface. I'm talking about driving them to a feature page, a comparison page, or a pricing page. If you are tracking the success of your SaaS marketing by page views alone, you are simply playing the wrong game.
And look, when you finally start playing the right game, the rewards are absolutely staggering. When executed with a laser focus on pipeline, rather than those empty vanity metrics we talked about, B2B SaaS SEO delivers an average 702% ROI. And it does this with a break-even time of just 7 months. 7 months. Just put that into perspective for a second. 7 months to break even on an organic marketing channel, which will then sit there and compound for years. It's not a rented audience like paid ads, it's an owned asset. It is arguably one of the highest leveraged, yet ironically, most misunderstood strategies in all of software marketing today.
So, the big question? How do we actually capture that massive ROI? Let's move to Section 3, targeting high-intent buyers. Okay, to pull this off, we have to use a strategy called Pain Point SEO. What this means in practice is targeting job-to-be-done keywords to capture self-identified buyers who are right at this very second actively doing the manual work that your software accelerates. For example, let's say you sell a complex competitive intelligence software. You don't just write a generic blog post titled, "What is competitive intelligence?" Nobody buying enterprise software is searching for that. Instead, you target a highly specific query like competitor battle cards template.
When a searcher clicks that, your content immediately delivers the specific output they want, the template. But then it seamlessly connects that output to your broader software platform, explaining how your tool automates that exact job at scale. You see what's happening there? You are catching them at their exact moment of commercial friction. You're catching them while they're feeling the pain.
Now, how do you capture and guide these buyers? You do it through a 4-layer internal linking system that guides them seamlessly down the funnel. It's like a digital breadcrumb trail. Most SaaS blogs completely ignore this, by the way. They just publish these isolated, standalone articles instead of a connected network. But here's how you should do it. You start at layer 1 with a broad operational problem. Think of a query like, why startup teams lose operational visibility? Then, layer 2 breaks down the workflow, something like how reporting silos emerge. Layer 3 gets into the real tactical processes, like how to structure weekly reporting. And finally, you link them to layer 4, which is the direct solution evaluation. This is where your head-to-head comparison pages and alternative tools pages live. This 4-step structure builds massive topical authority in Google's eyes, while literally escorting the buyer right to your demo page.
And of course, we have to talk about how to get those high-intent pages to actually rank. You need high-authority backlinks. There's no way around it. In fact, 55.7% of SEO professionals consider link building the absolute most difficult part of their job. And it makes sense, right? It involves prospecting sites, courting editors, and creating genuinely linkable assets. But here is the kicker for B2B SaaS. A backlink from some random, low-quality, irrelevant site is completely worthless. It does nothing for you. You need high-authority placements on relevant industry sites to build what we call authority by association. That is what is strictly required to actually move the needle for these competitive, high-intent keywords.
Now let's shift gears and move to section 4, optimizing for AI search. This is rapidly becoming the new ultimate battleground for B2B software evaluations.
We absolutely have to talk about AEO, or AI Engine Optimization, earning brand citations and AI-generated answers across tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini. AEO is critical right now because modern buyers are changing their behavior. They are going to these large language models, they're typing in full paragraphs of context about their very specific business problems, and they are asking the AI for direct product recommendations. It's no longer just typing in a keyword, it's a conversation. Now, think about this. If your brand isn't showing up in those AI-generated answers, you are entirely invisible at the exact moment a prospect is ready to buy. You are leaving literal mountains of pipeline on the table if the AI doesn't know who you are.
So how do you actually get cited by an AI? Well, you must build specific trust tokens into your content. Look, AI models require source-worthy evidence to generate a citation. They don't just blindly recommend software because they want to avoid hallucinations. They are actively looking for signals of trust. They look for digital PR, verifiable data-backed case studies, direct quotes from real industry experts, strong founder points of view, and highly technical citations. By baking these specific trust tokens right into your bottom-of-funnel content, you are effectively making your brand the most authoritative, safe, and logical recommendation for an AI to surface to a searching buyer.
Finally, let's bring it all home with Section 5, connecting SEO to pipeline. This is where we focus on proving our ROI and connecting our organic visibility directly back to actual revenue.
To survive in B2B marketing today, you absolutely must bridge the reporting gap between your web analytics and your sales data. Let's break it down. Google Analytics 4 is a great tool, sure, but it only tracks anonymous user sessions and aggregate page views. It doesn't tell you who is buying. On the flip side, your CRM, whether that's HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever you use, excels at tracking actual named contacts, close-won opportunities, and annual recurring revenue. The real magic? The magic happens when you implement multi-touch attribution to connect that anonymous first-touch organic landing page in Google Analytics all the way through to the closed-won deal inside your CRM. That right there is how you definitively prove to your CEO or your board that your SEO strategy is more than paying for itself.
So what does that return actually look like over time? Well, B2B SaaS SEO is an investment that matures. It's not a flip-the-switch overnight thing. While you'll absolutely see early ranking bumps and traffic improvements in the first 2 months, the real pipeline magic takes a bit longer. Measurable pipeline contribution, meaning actual qualified demos and signups, usually builds between 3 and 6 months. But by month 12, that is when you see the massive compounding returns, the hockey stick curve. For instance, in real documented case studies, companies like Glide saw 14x multiple in signups around month 12 using this exact framework. Another company, Kubera, achieved an incredible 43x growth by month 15. It requires patience at the start, for sure, but the long-term payoff completely dwarfs what you get from constantly renting space on paid channels.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought. something to chew on regarding your current marketing spend and your growth strategy. Tomorrow morning, when you log into your SEO dashboards, grab your coffee and look at the numbers, ask yourself, are you tracking sessions or are you tracking revenue? Because if your headline metric is just traffic, I can almost guarantee your pipeline story is missing. It's time to shift your focus to intent. Align your content directly with your product services, optimize for both Google and the new AI engines, and watch your organic search transform into your absolute most powerful revenue engine. Thanks for joining me.